Hi, welcome to Peacemakers. Glad you could join me today. Let me drop the seat down a little bit. It looks like I'm just getting the top of my head in there. I hate sitting this close to the floor. It feels like, and my legs, I like them to be at 90 degrees, nice and comfortable. If they're, my knees are poking up, it doesn't feel that great. Kind of hard on the bum, to be honest. Beautiful out here, isn't it? This is Bonner's Ferry area. Massive bridge going right across this really pretty lake. I'm headed north into Alberta. I've got a delivery in Calgary tonight at, they begin unloading at 11 p.m. I'm hoping and praying I get there and I'm the first in line. I'm going to be there around 8:30, and I'm hoping and praying that I'll be the first one in line. That by 12:30 I'll be rolling out of there to find a place to try and get some sleep. Normally I'm in bed at 10 o'clock, so this is kind of tough. One of those tough runs. Not every run is a good run. We all have eyes, but we don't all see. And I want to share an insight that could really truly bless you if you apply it. You have to apply it for it to work. Now, I've been looking at the two kinds of creation. God's creation, God's engineering, versus man's creation and man's engineering. And man, I tell you, I look at the mountains. I get to see a lot of really beautiful country with this job. Believe me, I see majesty, I see magnificence everywhere I go. I was up in the Pine Pass in northern British Columbia last week. I saw 6 different black bears in a span of about 100 miles, less than 100 miles. I see all kinds of wildlife, massive granite mountaintops covered in snow, great open bodies of water. I see God's creation. And even beautiful rose gardens. People have tended to their yards and made beautiful gardens. And when I drive by, the more you look at it as God's engineering and God's creation, the more breathtaking it is when you realize this was designed thousands and thousands of years ago and set up and engineered in such a way that it's just going to keep replicating itself over and over again. Even we ourselves, our human bodies, are counted as a part of that engineering. Think about this. Is there a machine man can make? Like, I'm talking about my physical body as a biological machine. It will die in time. Man is appointed 120 years and then judgment we go. But this biological machine runs on almost any fuel. It can run on anything from a celery stick to a Cheeto and produce and get results and be able to function. It's self-healing. Is there a machine that just goes about repairing all the little systems and mechanisms that are failing? Can you think of a machine that, take a car for instance, if you decide you want that car to be stronger, more robust, is it in your mind to go and treat it really harshly, rev it and force it to do things? And well, that's what your human body does. It says, oh, you want to work hard, okay, I'll build you bigger muscles, I'll get you a more robust, stronger body to cope with the workload. That is the biological machine God gave us on our birthday. Tremendously robust, self-replicating. Think about that. It's like, I'll just go ahead and produce more. Like, there's no machine on the planet that can simply copy itself and create such a wonderful, and think of our brain holding massive amounts of data. To be honest, scientists don't have a clue about the brain. They can read different colors, they can understand different chemical movements, but they really don't. Everything they know about the brain is pure guesswork. The brain is a mystery. I like what Trey Smith said. It is a receiver where the spirit and the soul connect to this physical world. There's a part of us that exists in another dimension, and it connects to the physical world through our brain. How on earth can something spiritual interact with this physical world? Well, this miracle of engineering is actually being manipulated by a spiritual entity. Yes, your eternal soul is piloting this fleshly body through. This is high-level engineering. This is engineering we can't even fathom. Now, I look at man's engineering. I look around at the engineering of man, at these cars you see before you. This truck that I'm driving is 2 months old, and I've had a couple of issues. I can see where the dash is starting to come apart. I had my washer fluid bottle punctured when I hit a bump. I've got a rattle in the back. It had a check engine light. This was brand spanking new 2 months ago. Within 10 years, any vehicle you see, it was gorgeous when it was first engineered. It smelled nice, it ran, it purred like a kitten. Within 10 years, it's a pile of junk. In fact, most of the newer base level cars are junk within 5 years. Absolute garbage. You look at our houses, you go into a brand new home and it's so pretty and nice and everything. Within 10 years, it's starting to look aged. Within 25 years, it's junk. It's trash. Man's engineering is kind of like a carnival. You go in and it's all bright lights and really awesome looking, but you know, behind the smoke and mirrors, there's nothing there. There's no substance. Our engineering fails in a very short time. Here's food for thought. Back 2,000-3,000 years ago, they were engineering massive buildings with massive megalithic blocks that we can still see today. And today, the garbage we're making that can't last our own lifetime. It's really stunning how pathetic our engineering is. It really is. And how wasteful, how pointless. People enslave themselves for a house and a car. They dedicate their whole life to owning these things, which within the span of a few years is nothing but garbage. So we're pouring our lives into owning garbage. We really are. And this is where I'm coming around to give us eyes to see. The more you look around you, look at God's engineering and marvel that it's thousands of years old, it's self-replicating, it's self-healing, it's going to keep going long after we're gone. Our best engineering within a matter of a few decades is nothing but trash. You haul it out to the rubbish heap. So when I say give us eyes to see, that's what I want you to see, is that God's engineering is magnificent, and He has done that for our benefit, so that when we look upon His creation, it takes our breath away. We are in awe and we say, God, you are awesome. And when we look at our own engineering, like this car in front of me was probably a very expensive car 15 years ago, and I wouldn't give you $10 for it now. It's a gas-guzzling dinosaur that's going to die soon. That's man's engineering. That's man's best. So there's food for thought today. I hope you have a blessed day, an awesome day, and take time to go out and look at God's creation and marvel. Walk through a rose garden, sit by a stream, and just reflect on the works of God's hands. I hope you have an awesome day.